Previously on the Fan of History, the Assyrian Empire is on the move, trying to reclaim the Middle Assyrian Empire that they lost in the 11th century BC. Welcome to the Fan of History. I am the Fan of History and we're talking about the 880s BC. I'm just a fan of history, not an historian. Please watch the videos The Great Civilizations of the World in 900 BC and the events of the 880s BC part 1. This is a long one. It's a two-parter and this is part 2. Let me know how much detail you want. I will provide you a lot of details, but there's more and more sources now, so I have to cut something. Let me know what you want to see more of and what you want to see less of. In 883 BC, Tukulti-Ninurta II, king of the Assyrian Empire, is dead, and his throne is left peacefully to his son, Ashurnasirpal II. The name means Ashur is guardian of the air. Many consider this king the true founder of the Assyrian Empire. And here is his full title. This guy is the supreme, the merciless, the destroyer of opposition, the exalted king, the shepherd, the protector of the quarters of the world, the king, the word of whose mouth destroys mountains and seas, who by his lordly attack has forced mighty and merciless kings from the rising of the sun to the setting of the same to acknowledge one supremacy. So you can kind of guess that this guy is gonna be something special. The three kings before him, Ashurnasirpal II, Adad-nirari II and Tukulti-Ninurta II, has prepared the way, and the kings, his fathers, could not anticipate what an enormous king this guy was going to be. He is an ambitious and able monarch to reforge the empire. And in many ways, this is the archetype of the Assyrian king. Because he fights, he hunts, he builds, and he boasts. And what does he do? He immediately attacks. As soon as he is the king, he campaigns. He goes up the Greater Sab River to the Kabku, crushes everybody, loots and ravages, sets up a victory stela on Mount Eki, builds a city named Ashurnasirpal. He will campaign 14 times in his reign, but this is just the first year. This is still he's new at the job. And he campaigns again twice in this year. He goes to the northeast, to the land of Kadmuku, where everybody gives up and pays tribute. And word reaches Ashurnasirpal that the Aramean kings by the Kabu River have been causing problems for the Assyrians. And remember, the goal is to reclaim the Middle Assyrian Empire. And the Middle Assyrian Empire went all the way between the Tigris, the upper Tigris and the upper Euphrates. And these guys have Aramean kingdoms by the Kabu River that's on the wrong side of the Euphrates. In 883 BC, there's trouble in China, and King Yi will have to side with the Marquis of Yi. There is a dispute with the Duke Ai of Kui, and it ends with Duke Ai being boiled to death in a large cauldron. King Yi installs Duke Ai's younger half-brother Jing on the throne of Kui. He will be known as Duke Yu of Kui. And the power of the noble lords of Su China supports this. So the Marquis of Yi and other powerful nobles are on the side of the king. And he needs this support because the power of the Su kings is quickly becoming less. But the power of Ashurnasirpal II is only getting bigger. In 882 BC, he actually has time to prepare his campaign, and this time he gathers 50,000 soldiers with superior equipment, best warriors in the world. He goes north along the Tigris into the Nairi lands that caused so much trouble for his father. He finds a statue of his father and a statue of Tiglath-Pileser I, the greatest ruler of the Middle Assyrian Empire. He immediately puts up a statue of himself, slightly bigger than the other statues. And everybody who is nearby bows before the mighty king, except Kulaya, a rebel leader who puts up a fight against the Assyrian army. And in response, the city of Kulaya's city, which is his base, is plundered and destroyed. As Ashurnasirpal also seizes the local city of Tushka and makes it the local headquarters of Assyria and a supply depot for the army. The kings nearby, including Amebal, who we mentioned last time, Amebal A of the Bitsadini, they swear an oath to obey Ashurnasirpal and to provide support and provisions for this local Assyrian headquarters. The kings of Nairi and the realm of Isalla also does this. And once again, Ashurnasirpal II is done campaigning very early in the year, so he has time for another campaign, and he goes southwest from the mountains of what is today Turkey right into the Syrian plain, right close to the river Kabur. And these Aramean kings, they did not expect the Assyrians to come out of the mountains, so they are somewhat surprised by this powerful king with his enormous army. So they immediately decide that this is not the fight they want to take. They heap gifts on Ashurnasirpal. They are, oh mighty Lord of the universe, we obey you. Nobody wants to fight Ashurnasirpal II. They all submit and pay tribute, and they swear to always obey mighty Ashur. And Ashurnasirpal makes them swear this. And you know what? If they break this oath, he will get really mad at them. They also, to placate him, gives him a tour of the Hittite palaces. Remember, these are the Neo-Hittite kingdoms, so they still kind of live in the past, in the glory of the Hittite Empire that is gone. Over 300 years the empire has been gone, but they have been building in the old style, and these palaces contain like lamassus, lion figures, and statues, and these are very impressive, and you can see later that Ashurnasirpal will be very impressed and inspired by these statues. But so the north and the west have been taken care of in less than 2 years by Ashurnasirpal II, and it's now time to go east to the Zagros mountains. And in 881 BC, Ashurnasirpal takes his enormous robber band army to the east. And there is the ancient kingdom of Samara controlling a large part of the Zagros mountains, near the headwaters of the Diyala river. So Ashurnasirpal he has the city of Kalisi already, it's an Assyrian city, and he makes it the base for this campaign. It is 60 kilometers southwest of Nineveh. The leader of the land Dagara, which seems to be the leader of the kingdom of Samara as well, is also named Nur-Adad, just like Assyria's old enemy, but it's not the same guy, and he has no relations to the Temanites. Ashurnasirpal claims that this guy had rebelled. And Nur-Adad knew that this was serious. This Ashurnasirpal did mean business, and he was coming with this great army. So Nur-Adad took all the inhabitants of Samara, moved them behind the pass of Babitu, and walled up the pass. So, hey, Ashurnasirpal, you can't get through. But Ashurnasirpal breaks through the pass of Babitu, and he slaughters and plunders the land of Samara. So far, the only details we get are slaughtering and plundering, but we will get more details later. And we will learn that Ashurnasirpal II is a very cruel and efficient person. Those people that are not killed and slaughtered then are taken as laborers and brought back to Assyria. Also, great wealth is taken from this kingdom. And this is only his 3rd year, but he has already taken tribute from the kingdoms to the north, plundered cities to the north, taken tribute from the west, and now he's getting great wealth from the east. And he has time once again to go to war twice in the same year, so he just continues, and he pushes on to Mount Nisir, which is here. It's one of the mountains where Noah's Ark is thought to have capsized. It is mentioned in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Today it's called Pir Umar Gudrun. It has an elevation of 9,000 feet, 2,700 meters. The kingdom of Samara is utterly destroyed and leaves history forever. The towns and garrisons are looted and destroyed, and the people are shipped off to Ashur. Dur Ashur is created as the local headquarters and supply depot, and this time Ashurnasirpal breaks with tradition and puts in a governor. So this will not be an area ruled by vassal kings who pay tribute, because he has destroyed the kingdom of Samara completely. So an Assyrian will rule this area as a governor, and it is from this decision that the strategy of governorship from the Persian Empire, from the Roman Empire, it comes from this event. This is the first governor installed by Ashurnasirpal II. In 881 BC, King Yi has trouble again in China. There are wars in the south. The state of Shu and the Dongyi, their barbarian tribe, cause trouble. There is much hardship. And the Shiji, a very huge historical work on Chinese history, says the following. During his reign, royal power was not strong and the regional rulers failed to obey the court. So what would a King Mu have said about this? The power of the Sioux dwindling. The power of the Chavin in Peru is increasing, but not by force of arms, but by enormous, fantastic buildings, art, drugs, and love. And there's peace among the Chavin, and everybody wants to be like them. In 880 BC, Ashurnasirpal goes on some campaign, I'm sure. He will also make a decision. Remember that his father was upset with the location of the over 1,000-year-old capital, Ashur. So Ashurnasirpal II simply decides to break with all this tradition and build a new city. In the village of Kala, or Kalhu, this is modern Nimrud in Iraq. It is a considerably better located site with the current borders of Ashurnasirpal's Assyria. And it is easy to launch campaigns to the north, but it is also easy to launch campaigns against everybody except Babylonia. And Ashurnasirpal has peace with Babylonia. He will renew the oaths, I think, but at least he has peace with Babylonia. And he does not intend to make war on Babylonia. There is a village in Kala, but it's very small. So it's a city built from almost nothing. We'll talk more about this city next time. The money comes from his campaigns. It will take 15 years to build this capital. And the next show will be all about this. Here's a map of Assyria. See, Kalhu is located here. Tukulti-Ninurta based his campaigns from Nineveh for some time, and this is the old capital Ashur. Ashurnasirpal II has a great plan for all of this, and he's just getting started. We have only seen his first 4 years filled with victories. Only this 4 first years he has outperformed his father, his grandfather, and his great-grandfather. And in my opinion, Ashurnasirpal II is the third greatest of all the Neo-Assyrian kings. So, who is a greater king than Ashurnasirpal II? Well, it is not Sennacherib, it's not Sargon, it's not even Esarhaddon. No, I think I only rank 2 kings above him. The Scholar King, which I will talk more about later, and also the line, the person, the dark Messiah that will by his own hand end the ancient line of kings and slay everyone who has Ashurnasirpal in their family tree. Because in the future there will be an Assyrian king that will simply be referred to as the Assyrian. In 880 BC, Omri king of the new kingdom of Israel, attacks Moab over here. And he takes this piece of Moab into Israel, and Moab becomes a vassal kingdom under Israel. Omri is also dissatisfied with the location of his capital of Tirzah, so he moves the capital. He buys a hill for 60 kilos of silver and builds the new capital of Samaria. As you can see on the map, Samaria over here, located very well, middle of the kingdom, easy to go everywhere. Much like what Ashurnasirpal did, actually. Archaeology confirms that there is extensive building projects in Samaria at this time. Omri is allied with the city of Tyre, which is up here. And he's a new power player in Canaan. So, the 880s, two-part episode, very long episode. We're in the year 880 BC. Maybe we are done. Let's see if there is anything else. The 23rd dynasty begins in Egypt in 880 BC. What? Egypt is getting extremely complicated. Harsiese A is the first pharaoh of the 23rd dynasty. His father was a high priest in Thebes, Shoshenq C. Harsiese A is a relative of Takelot I, who is still having the 22nd dynasty going on in the delta to the north. So, but Harsiese A, he doesn't claim to be the high priest of Thebes, who rules from Thebes, like what happened in the 21st dynasty. No, Harsiese A is the pharaoh of Egypt, ruling from Thebes for the 23rd dynasty. We'll blame Manetho for saying who is king and who isn't, but Egypt is quickly turning into a mess, and we will try not to get too deep into it. And there will be many questions. The next episode will cover only 1 year. It will be the events of 879 BC. When Ashurnasirpal II will throw the greatest party the world has ever seen. This episode will be released on June the 16th. Please discuss the show with me on Facebook or on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share. That helps, keeps me going. And thank you for watching. The Fan of History.